How you doing, my guy?
Good, good.
So you guys, how do I say this? The respect that I have for Zach is just unfathomable. This guy has been here from the beginning. The reason we brought him on for the Father's Day special is he's been kind of like a father or a mentor to almost every single person in some form or fashion on this here Zoom. He's helped every single person, right? Whether he helped you book, helped you with leads, helped you with questions, literally every single person he has touched and helping. And if you're brand new, you'll find out soon because he'll end up eventually helping you too. So Zach, man, thanks so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate you. Just kind of want to start off, giving a little bit of background. You came from the practice company like I did, and so many of us, Clint, Roy, Harold, a lot of us, right?
Right.
And you made that big leap when it was kind of scary. Nobody knew what was happening over here, and we heard nothing but bad stuff about, what family first life was like, and
right.
But we made the leap, right? Kind of give us a little bit of background, what got you into insurance,
Sure.
and why did you make the leap?
Yeah. Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me on. The kind words are, really nice to hear. That's not why I do it. I don't sit here to get any kind of praise, but kind of my background, before the pandemic hit, I was a physical therapist assistant, and I've kind of always been, first of all, there's two kinds of people in this world to me. There's the people I know and the people I'm gonna get to know. So
Wow.
No one's a stranger to me. There's I either know you or I'm gonna get to know you. Growing up, I was that kid that we would be camping or something, and like we just got to the campground, and 20 minutes later I'd invited everyone over, like everyone in the campground over for like s'mores that night, and my mom's like, I don't have enough for everyone. So that's just always been in me. But I was a physical therapist assistant, and I did that because I wanted to help people get better. I wanted to see someone come in the door that couldn't walk. I always think of this one kid. He was 18 years old, got in a car wreck. He looked at me the first time I worked with him, and he said, Zach, am I ever going to walk again? Like with tears in. And I said, yeah, you're not only going to walk, but I'm going to watch you run out of this clinic. Yeah. And we did it. We got him there. It was a process. It took time, but we got him there. So through the pandemic, I lost my job. They weren't hiring assistants anymore. They just needed the PTs because they got to do the evals. And right. I had someone from high school that I knew that was working at the practice company, invited me in. I said, sure, I'll try it. I'd never done sales and never been a salesman at all before, anything like that. But I knew that I had a passion to help people. And quickly I found that doing life insurance, or helping people with life insurance, was just helping people, but in a different way. Yeah. When I jumped from the practice company to here, I'm pretty lucky. I was pretty blind to what was going on. I was still
politics. Yeah, you were so new. Yeah,
still so green that I didn't really know what was going on. But I came over here. Nicole Mead had left that company, and she was always someone who was very honest with me and very would tell me, hey, if you're gonna be good, you gotta do that. You gotta get good at this type of lead. And to make it here, you gotta get this has an endless lead source. This isn't necessarily. And so then when she all of a sudden was gone, I was like, where'd you go? What happened? And that's how I kind of got hooked up over here, and met Harold and talked with Harold, and actually met with Isaiah and talked with Isaiah as well. And it was, they were all people that had jumped from the practice company, and we were here at the ground. There were 6 people on this Zoom at that time. Nobody.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it was like we didn't even have a script. We were figuring it out, and it was just like what works, what leads do we work, what all that kind of stuff. So I just really I'm happy that it out.
Much different back there.
Oh yeah.
Back then, yeah. It's funny. I was telling somebody that I sold myself a policy to to have enough money to buy leads. That's kind of what it was like, right? Because we came from a company that supplied leads, so it was all brand new and buying your own leads. And how scary that was, because if that amount of money depleted and I didn't make a sale, then I was out of the business, right? And that pressure is what, those diamonds, I think, it either going to make or break you. You know what I mean? Good thing now is we have all these systems in place, so you don't have to that kind of pressure that we did when we came on. But it's a lot different. It's funny that you say that, because I was in healthcare for 21 years before I quit and came in to insurance. And it's true, like healthcare providers or people that have that sort of mindset to help people, it translates really well into sales. Because if you're coming from a place, of good intentions and you're doing right for the client, you're going to sell more and you're going to get referrals, which translates to more sales and more money in your pocket. And it's crazy, because you're saying basically is what I'm getting is if you do right by others and you help people, then it's going to translate and come back to you. And that's how it's always worked for you. It seems like here with you helping everybody else out here too. I wanted to kind of touch in on how you kind of help people individually here. Craig, for example, you worked with Craig, and he's not really here on our Zoom much, but he needed helping with booking, and you've kind of helped from booking to pitches to closing. What's sort of your favorite experience that you've had helping somebody here?
I mean, I just like, I think this world is hard enough on your own that, like, if you can put out there, good energy, put out, a help, karma's going to come back to you. It's going to help. It's going to come around full circle. So yeah, like Craig's a great example. Dude can sell a policy. He can sell, but he didn't quite, he hadn't done like the sales process that we kind of do. It was kind of like, and kind of had to, I did everything from helping him book appointments to helping shape his presentation to help him getting better and closing more and like to even like how to follow up on his back ends.
That's a big one, right? Following up on back end business.
Yeah, being able to like do his back end work and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just part of like who I am is to like always help. Even in my my day-to-day life, if I have a grandparent that's like in the hospital, I'm like, I can be there. I can be the first person there to sit with 99-year-old grandfather who's in the hospital, that can't really answer his questions, but I can answer the questions for the doctors and stuff like that. And I'm always just kind of like, I sometimes to a fault, like I almost put myself out there too much that it like takes away from my time and stuff like that. But I think it's just part of who I am, is like I'm always wanting to help everyone in any kind of way I can.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but I appreciate you, and I know everybody's gonna throw a 1 in the chat for you right now that appreciates you too. But hey, man, for the newer people here, they're probably in their first 6 months, right, as an agent. Maybe they work somewhere else, maybe they've never done it before. What's some primary things that you think someone who's brand new should focus on? Let's help them now. Let's help them out now. What's some primary things?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this business is hard, and
it is.
It's going to want to make you quit multiple times, and that's normal. That's normal. That's okay. That means you're growing. If you're feeling that stress, you're feeling that pressure, because like you said, diamonds are made under pressure. It takes time to build that. Stay the course. Stay consistent. Big thing that I preach to like people on my team, or anyone for that matter, is don't get too high when things are really good. When things are really good, don't get too high. When things are bad, don't get too low. When you have chargebacks, when those hit, like don't get too low, because you're one phone call away from turning that around. You gotta I played football growing up, right?
One play at a time,
all the way through college, and it was because if you mess up on one play, you have to can that, you have to throw it in the trash can. I'm not gonna say we swore when we say that, I'm gonna throw it in the trash can, because we can't. If I compound it the next one, well, I just had a holding penalty. Now we're at 1st and 20. And then if I do it again, now we're at 1st and you
Yeah.
know, it just compounds itself. So you gotta like each day for me is starting back at zero. It doesn't matter what I did yesterday. It doesn't matter what I've done right now. Even after each call, I'm back at zero. But like, know that like this business is a momentum business. And if your best time that you can make a sale is right after you made a sale, subconsciously in your mind, you're gonna crush that next appointment just because you made that first sale. It's psychologically, it doesn't even have to do with anything that you do differently in the presentation, right? It's all just confidence comes through once you make that sale.
It's funny that you say that, right? Because, and I'll shout out his name, Mark, in practice company. He told me that, smile while you're presenting, right? Because, in a sale, feelings translate, right? So even if you're on the phone or if you're in front of somebody, right? Even if you're on the phone and you can't see them, smile while you're presenting, right? Because the emotion that causes you to feel is going to translate through the call. And a lot of people don't realize that. So if you're having a bad day, you're probably not going to make a lot of sales because you're feeling like shit, right? And so they don't know that you're feeling it, but they're getting subconsciously some type of feeling, and it's going to kill your sale. So I think that's important. I really do. I think I'm glad you brought that up. But let's say you got that in the bag, right? And why is consistency so important? And what do you mean by consistency? Like, are we talking about having 10 appointments every day, Monday through Friday? Are we talking about like, what are we talking about?
Let's kind of stay on the new people, newer to this business. The consistency, yes, at the end of the day, we're here to make sales, right? So consistency in sales, that's great. But what you can control when you're new is how many leads you have, how many appointments, and then if we get to leads, we get to appointments, we get to how many close questions we get to how many sales. We can reverse. It's so cliche because I heard it over and over again. We can reverse
over and over.
We can reverse engineer. You need this amount of appointments to get this amount of sales. It's so true though. It's so true. So you need this many leads to get this many appointments to get this many sales, and when you first start, the consistency needs to be, for me, it was, I need to get to 5 close questions in a day. I need to get to 5, when we get you qualified, which option works the best for you? I need 5 of those in a day. Because if I get 5 of those in a day, I know for sure I'm closing at minimum 1, right? I always say Paul, you and I are gonna sit with the same 10 people, the same, 2 of those people are always gonna say no. 2 of those people are always going to say yes because they're buyers. And the other 6 in between are how well you can convey your message. Well, when I'm brand new, maybe I'm not getting any of those 6, but I'm getting those 2 out of 10. So the 1 out of 5, right? So I'm getting 2 out of 10 that are always saying yes. Well, maybe as I start getting better, if I get to 5 close questions a day and I get to 50 appointments of close questions, now maybe I'm closing 1 out of those 6. So now I'm closing 3 out of 10. And then as you get better and better and better, you start, your top agents here, they're closing maybe 6 or 7 out of 10, right? Or they're closing, 5 out of 10. I guarantee you, no one here closes at 100%. If they were, they aren't here, right? Because they're made enough money that they're good.
Retired.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But your consistency needs to be when you first start. Yes, you want to focus on, you want to make the money, that kind of thing. The money will follow if you can get to those close questions. So for me, if I got 5 close questions a day, even if I didn't close one, that was a win. That was a satisfied day. And the more days that you can put together in a row of 5 close questions, or getting, having 6 appointments on your schedule, or all that kind of 10 appointments on your schedule, those are what you need to focus on as your wins when you first start, because sales will follow. But if you don't have enough appointments, you don't have enough, opportunities to sell, you can't close enough appointments. If you're just doing 1-2 appointments a day, well, now it's going to take you to get your 10 appointments there where you're going to close 2. If you're doing 2 appointments a day, that's going to take you all week.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you can get 5 to 8 appointments in a day of where you're getting to the close question, I mean, 8's a lot. And anyone that's been here, if you're getting through 8 close questions, you're tired at the end of the day. You are mentally whooped.
Yeah, for sure.
This business is not physically demanding.
It's like playing golf. It's a mental.
Oh, but mentally it can get you. Yeah.
So speaking into that, right? And again, for the new people, when you're coming across those kind of mental challenges, what should they do about that?
Reach up and reach out.
Why up?
Why? Because they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
The people above you, and when I say above you, yet we're all our own dependent business owners here. Like we
Right.
all own our own business. And first and foremost, you got to be the employee and the business owner, and you got to treat it as such. So if I have people that come in and, you're like, I'm never going to sit here and be like, hey, Paul, where you at, bro? Like, why are you not here?
Not doing it. Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Like, I could go back to the other company if I wanted to do that, but I'm not gonna do that here. Like, you got to take responsibility of it. But anytime you call me, and if I see you in the work, I will help you as much as
help you.
Right. And everyone wants to see everyone succeed here.
Right.
That's one of the best things about the culture that we have built here is everyone is going to celebrate everyone's wins, and one of the reasons we really encourage people to go unmuted and go live in presentations is, one, you're going to get better faster, and
everybody's listening and can help.
Yeah, and no one cares when you don't make a sale. Nobody cares. But we learn from it, and you're going to be better because of it.
Yep.
And the faster you can get better, the faster you're going to start making more money, and we're going to all, level up to the next level.
For sure. Hey, one of the other things I kind of want to touch on too, that I think is really special, is recently you've kind of gone through some challenges, and maybe you're open to talking about it, but
sure.
Maybe kind of walk people that may not know what's going on in your life right now, and kind of how this business has helped, with that process, that challenge.
Yeah, you brought me on to the Father's Day call, which is I'm a new father to a new son. He's 5 weeks old. Yeah, Knox. Yep, Knox. He's 5 weeks old. He came at 32 weeks. For anyone that hasn't had babies, full term is 40 weeks. So 32 weeks is essentially 2 months early, right? So he was small. He was 4 pounds 7 ounces when he was born. So he's in the hospital. He's in the NICU, the nursery. My first daughter was a 26-week preemie. So
I didn't know that.
She was a lot smaller. Yeah. So we've been through the NICU, and anyone that's been through the NICU, it just sucks. It's not fun. You have to leave your baby at the hospital every single day, and you want your baby at home.
It's basically the ICU for babies, for those who don't know what NICU is.
Yeah, NICU, neonatal ICU. Neonatal ICU. So NICU is short for that. So he came just, 6 o'clock in the evening.
He said, I'm ready.
My wife, not to make it, not too much information, she went to the bathroom and she stood up, kept peeing. The water broke. And it was like, oh shit, we got to go to the hospital. Got there and they're like, yep, sure enough, your water broke. And, the nurse I go, so are we I'm kind of in shock. And the nurse is like, oh, so are we going to have a baby tonight? And she goes, yes. And I go, oh, you just let it out. I was like, oh crap. Because I wasn't prepared for our first one to come at all.
Right.
On a vacation when that happened, and we moved to a whole different state when that happened. I wasn't ready business wise to be just all of a sudden just done or for a little bit. But being that he came early and working in this business allowed me to be there for him,
Right.
and as much as I can. And so like for basically 3 weeks, I was able to just like put working aside. you
Yeah.
know I was still available for anyone that on my team that needed to talk. I would call them, and we game plan or whatever together. But this business then also allowed me to like work when I want, where I want, how I want.
Yeah.
And I mean, not only in that situation of like having the knocks in the hospital, but like you go on vacation, you can take your computer and you can work, and you go. I mean, you've been to Jamaica a couple times, for a couple weeks, hanging out on the beach with a little rum on the side, and you can still work while you're there.
Don't tell my secrets, man. Don't tell my secrets.
And, it's just the ability to 100% be my own business and be able to work when I want, how I want, where I want. I mean, I remember, yeah, Omar just put in the chat. I remember Omar's son was in the NICU a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I remember him being on Zoom, and he like turned his background off, and he's like in the bathroom of his wife's hospital room.
Yeah.
And he's like selling policies in there.
Yeah.
And like where else can you do that? I mean, same thing. My wife was down in the nursery in the NICU with my son, and I just hopped in her hospital bed, put the laptop on, and I sold a couple policies that way.
Yeah.
It's there. I don't think there's any other business that you can just like do that. Like there's the flexibility to do it.
If you're in real estate, you got to go show up to the open houses. You know what I mean? So yeah. Or if you have another job, if you don't have enough vacation or sick time for an emergency built up because you used it all up last July, you got to go to work. You got to go report.
Right.
You got to go clock in. You got to go punch in.
Yeah. I mean, I worked in outpatient physical therapy, and I worked in a skilled rehab facility. Rehab, I got people that are max levels of assist where they need 100% help with getting up out of bed.
Yeah.
Virtually. I can't. I can tell them to kick their leg out, but I can't physically help them do it.
Yeah. Well, the fact that, you've gone through some challenges and just recently, like me, for people that don't know, I've been out for a week. I've been sick. My wife and kids all sick. Got a mother-in-law in the hospital right now. And she's not getting out for another 2 weeks, it looks like. But if I didn't have this business, where I could kind of take care of everything and everybody, and still be able to, help clients too, remotely wherever I'm at. Man, I love this business. I can't thank Roy. Let's shout out Roy for being the one that mentored me in the very beginning and taught me how to sell. Can't thank him enough for this, right? Like I owe him everything, to be honest with you. Yeah.
The ability to just like, my wife's grandfather passed away last December, but before that, he was in and out of the hospital, a couple times in the last year. And the ability to like, hey, grandpa fell and he's going into the hospital, the ability to be like, I can be there with him. When my father-in-law, he's a chef, the French pastry chef, he has to be in the kitchen to work
every time.
And my wife's aunt, she's a speech pathologist in a school. She has to be there to work, but I could just be like, nope, I can do it. I can just clear my schedule and go. And if you have those things that pop up, you can give your appointments to your coworkers, and people still split them with you, and so you still make money. So it's the ability and flexibility to do, work when you want, where you want, how you want. Is second to none. It's hard, but you can do it.
Let me ask this one final question of you before we kind of move on to the next guest, and something that we developed special for everybody here too. For those people that might be struggling or one day will, because shoot, I've this business probably 100 times by now, right? In my mind, right? And let's say they've reached up, right? but
Mhm.
maybe something inside, what's the clicker for you that even if you've reached up, that really actually, reminds you why this business is so great? What's the thing that's the switch in you that makes you stay?
I mean, it's got to be. I mean, first, it's got to be you have to have a strong why. Your why that you're in the business. Like so for me, it's definitely my family. Um, the the flexibility of being able to drop at a drop of a hat and be able to do anything for my family is second to none. The ability to be able to make the kind of money that I can make here, uh, I make, I mean, I make more in some days here than I made in a month as a physical therapist assistant that I had to go
Right.
to school for 2 years for.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Yeah.
Like, and I tell people, I tell everyone about this business, and I'm like, I wish I would have found this business when I was 18. So if you're 18 and you're here, you have
Hey,
a cheat code in life right now. Like
cheat code. Say
like
that
it,
again.
this is it's a cheat code able to have financial freedom that like I didn't even know like I
I didn't
could.
come into it till I was 40. So yeah,
Right,
I would
right.
have did this 20 years earlier. You guys wouldn't even see me no more. I'd
I
be
know you
retired.
wouldn't have been working at McDonald's that long.
Yeah, yeah. I had to do what I had to do, make ends meet.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, but like just when I'll just go back to like remember that when things are good, it's never as good as it seems. When things
Yeah,
are bad, it's never as
never
bad
as
as it
bad.
seems. You gotta stay right even keel. Talk about riding the wave. When it's really high, you gotta still stay in the middle of the wave. When it's low, you still gotta stay in the middle of the wave. It just keep it even keel.
Yeah, I'll add to that. If you're on a hot streak, just because it's Friday, don't quit. Work the Saturday, the Sundays till that hot streak ends. Like I've seen a lot of people, they're on a super hot streak. They take a week off, they come back, and they don't realize now you got to get that momentum back, right? When the hot streak comes off, then take a couple days off, right? But definitely ride that wave all the way through till it's done, and you'll find that you'll make more money than you ever have in your entire life by a long shot. Like it's crazy. It really is. Like I keep saying that, but it really is. Um, but hey, man,
It's life-changing money. It
for
really
sure.
can be, and it can be like that.
Yeah.
And it'll just so
Well,
stick.
it's Father's Day. I know you always call me daddy and stuff, but in this here scenario, I want to say, hey, thank you for,
Thank you.
being like a father figure to so many people here. Our thoughts and prayers, my family, you already know Aldine and I, we're always
Man,
there for you. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for hopping on. Uh, Now, for those people that see this on YouTube and they want to come work for you, how can they contact you?
you can either contact find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, ZE Snapper. I was a long snapper in college, so I still know my handle. ZE Snapper.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Those for who have questions for you here, what room are you usually in that they can reach you? They're here on our team already.
I'm in any room. If you see me in a room, you can hop into that room, ask a question of me. If I'm available, I will definitely answer it. If I'm not, I'll tell you. I'll get back to you. And just so yeah, you find it probably means that people are unmuted, talking about business, talking about BS, or we're live in appointments. So and we have our cameras on.
Yeah, yeah. uh, Usman he just private messaged me. He wanted to know what razor you're using so he could get
uh,
it for his head.
well, it's just the half, but I don't have the shine
Big?
like
Is it
this
big?
one.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the shine. Where do you get the wax?
I'll let you guys talk offline on that one. All right, man. Hey, thanks again. Appreciate you. And man, I can't say enough about you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.